Shea King, the radio patriot, and I'm here in the back of the bus at the Tea Party Express as we're making our way into Elko, Nevada. And I'm with Jimmy Labriola, who is one of our favorite people. He's a comedian, he's funny, he's a good guy, and he walks with God. And we're going to spend a little bit of time here with him this morning, finding out why he's doing what he's doing and what his plans are. Jimmy, nice to talk with you this morning.
My paisan, Andrea. How you doing?
Good.
You want to know why I'm doing it?
Yeah.
10,000. That's why I'm doing it. No, I'm just kidding.
So you first of all, tell the folks what you're doing now, and then what you'd like to be doing.
Okay. About 11 years ago, I got saved and didn't even know how to read a Bible. And like I said, I didn't know who Paul was. I thought he was one of the Beatles, John, Ringo. And I had a guy teach me how to read it. I got involved with a church, got saved, and there was one scripture that changed my whole life and my career. Was Ephesians 5:4, which says, "No coarse joking, no foul language." You know, so being a comedian, I had a very blue act, and
a little bit of this.
Oh, a lot of that, a lot of this, and I. You know, when you don't know, you don't know. But when God hits you in the face with something, that scripture changed me. And I said, how am I going to confess I'm a Christian and then go back on stage and use foul language?
So you thought that by reading that Ephesians scripture that God was talking directly to you?
Directly to me, right? Like, boom, it hit me like a sledgehammer. And now I was convicted, and it was like, how am I going to, you know, say I love Jesus, I love that, and I go upstairs, you know, I go on the stage and I disrespect him when he just told me don't do that. It's like somebody told me once, you know, buy Jesus a ticket for your show, sit him in the front and see what he thinks.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. So that changed your whole genre, really. I mean, did that affect your business and your ability to earn an income?
It really did. I would say it was the hardest time of my life. Put down something that was everything to me, everything. Be somebody, show business, you know. And but God told me to lay it down, and I couldn't go. You know, you're doing something so long, I just couldn't change and go on stage. I tried it 6 months later in a club in Kansas City, and the blue stuff came right out. And I said, okay, God, I'm sorry. I tried. I can't do this anymore. So for about 4 years, I laid my career down. My friends thought I was crazy, obviously, and you know.
Well, your manager must have been delighted.
When I called him to tell him I was going out to LA, we were supposed to have a meeting about this show I wrote called City Bumpkin, and had a lot of club dates. I said, I can't do it. And he, of course, you know, cursed me and
he's watching dollars fly out the window.
Exactly, and it was like the scales came off my eyes, and I saw what it really was about. And it's just like I had to put it down. And I was physically sick, and you know, for a while I couldn't work for a year. You know, it was hard, but I kept going to church and Bible study and having faith. And then for a couple of years I sold real estate, and then somehow God put in my heart again about doing comedy, because that was truly my gift He gave me. And because I found out I was like doing my act to the customers anyway, and you know, so. I tried to clean it up, I wrote stuff, and then I invited 16 people over my house from the church in my living room. And I did my act, and they started laughing. I said, whoa, this is pretty good.
So that was affirmation that you could do comedy without being blue.
Right. So I got myself booked on a couple of cruise ships, because I put myself in an environment where you can't fall back on the blue. I couldn't. And as the time went on, I built it up, and then I started doing churches with families. You know, kids age me. A few years ago, they'd be running, you know, and it's the Antichrist. But and as they say, the rest was history. And I got clean. I did a lot of cruises. I did churches, events, men's retreats, and it just went on. And then I kind of drifted into the secular again, but in a whole different way, clean. And I would get families come over to me with kids go, you know what, you weren't just funny, but you were clean. You did it clean.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate that. So it, you know, there was like, I didn't have to lose 50% of the audience anymore, you know. It was, I could do it for kids 8 years old and people 80 years old.
And God provided.
100%. It took me like a piece of clay. And he just kind of, I mean, I couldn't do 3 minutes clean at one time if you told me.
Wow. So now, you've done a run of cruise ships, and what are you doing now, and what do you see ahead?
Well, I've kind of drifted off the ships now. God is kind of bringing me back in to the Christian realm. And it's been wonderful to play churches, and I've done a bunch of different Christian TV shows. And right now, God's put in my heart, I want to do like a Tonight Show.
The Johnny Carson Tonight Show?
Same thing, the band, the guy hosting with me, and like my epic man. I want it to be like on a family channel or a Christian channel. I want it to be just, if you turn the TV on, you would not know it's a Christian show. You would just think it's a regular show. So that draws them in. And then obviously, you know, we can get the word in there. But in a way that doesn't scare people right away. And that's how good I want it to be. You know, so I'm hoping that that happens.
So you would host the show, and also maybe do a comedic bit?
Right, like just like Leno. I'd come out every night, do a monologue, have my band on the side, my guy sitting down with me, and just talk about everyday stuff, and then have guests. Like, you know, it'll be like a launching pad for new Christian artists, like comedians or singers or writers or producers. And it would be that launching pad so people would get to know them. Also secular people like Ray Romano, I forget her name, Ray, the woman that played Ray Romano's wife, is a Christian. It's some big secular names on there. And I want it to be a show that everybody wants to get on that. And the focus, though, the main thing is about Jesus Christ, that we get the message out there. And people realize that, you know, we don't sit around Christians with a bunch of candles going, you know, we truly came to give us life. So that's my belief. Now, you know, I have friends that look at me in Hollywood, I was one of those guys. Oh, what is that, this guy? He's always off the wall. But you know what? I was there. But they know something's different about me. They know. And they know who to call when they get over that edge. So, like I said, I let my life do my preaching, you know. And I get to meet phenomenal people like you. And I mean that sincerely. You're just an incredible woman. You're not one of those people that's why I love the Tea Party, is that they don't sit around in the backyard and, you know, just, oh, the country's this. You do something about it. And you've been a play. You made my whole trip. My paisan. You made me coffee. Coffee. I just want to say, too, out there, it takes more strength to not do drugs and drink. You don't need it, kids. Specifically for the kids. I'm proof of that. You don't have to go through that. You know, and we need leaders like you. We need to touch the young people. So you guys get out there and stick together, you young kids, because we need you. You're the future.
Jimmy Labriola, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Come back again soon.